Hi everyone, this is Doreen. I need to make a birthday card and I thought rather than using my Cricut, I'm going to use my Cuttlebug. So let's see what other supplies I'll be using. I have a piece of pink cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 11 and I scored it in half. And this paper I picked up when I purchased my original Cricut. For my bottom layer, I'm going to be using this mat stack by Die Cuts with a View. It is their Earth Coordinating Prints and Cardstock. And this paper measures 4 by 5 1/4. For my top layer, I'm going to be using this cardstock that's by Urban Oasis. And it measures 3 5/8 by 4 3/4. And this I picked up at one of my hauls at Tuesday mornings. There's some really pretty papers in here. I'm going to be using some ribbon that I picked up at Michael's on one of my hauls. My Stampin' Up! Close to Cocoa ink pad, along with my makeup sponge that I use to ink my edges. My Scallop Sizzix die. My Circle Sizzix die, and my Butterfly Sizzix die, and my Swiss Dot Cuttlebug folder. I'm also going to be using this Happy Birthday stamp that's from the Stampin' Up's Alphabet Soup collection. It also has in there thank you, jingle all the way, hugs and kisses. My Stamp-A-Ma-Jig, some regular tape, my Tombow adhesive tape, my ATG gun, and my Tim Holtz scissors. And of course I'll be using my Cuttlebug. So let's get started. To save time, I've already run my bottom layer through my Swiss Dots embossing folder. And now what I'm going to do is attach it to my card. And I'm going to be using my Tombow adhesive to do this. I find that the Tombow adhesive is a little bit more forgiving than the ATG gun. And I use this when I want to lay down my first layer and make sure that I get it even. So let's see if I can get this on here and not have to pull it off. So, and it's kind of hard doing this sitting down, so bear with me. Okay, got that down pretty good. Okay, so my next step is I'm going to take my circle die and I'm going to center it where I want it on the front of my card, because what I'm trying to do is allow for an opening. And that looks about where I want it. So then I'm going to take my Cuttlebug and I'm going to lay down my A plate, my C plate, and then I'm going to take my card and lay that down and make sure I have the die where I want it. And then I'm going to take my B plate and put that on top. And I need to adjust this just a little bit because it looks like it got off center. So I'm just going to readjust it real quick. And then I'm going to lay my B plate on top. And I'm going to run it through my Cuttlebug. Okay. We'll do that real quick. And then I'm going to take it out. And I'm going to pop it out. And I should have an opening, which I do. That's exactly the way I wanted it. Okay, in case I forgot to mention earlier, I did take my Stampin' Up! Close to Cocoa ink pad and my makeup sponge and I edged around my edges of my bottom layer. So now, let's get on with the next step. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my top layer and my Scallop Sizzix die and I'm going to make an opening also with this layer. I'm going to match it and try to center it exactly where I want it. Okay, now that I have all three of my openings, I'm going to line this up and look to see if that's where I want it. which it is. And then I'm going to take my ribbon that I've already pre-cut, and I'm going to run it along the bottom of my top layer and just kind of measure that up to see if that's where I want it. And it is. So then what I'll do is I'll take my regular tape and tape down my ribbon. And what I'm doing actually is just making a fake knot. I will be doing a video on how to do a actual bow, and that'll be coming up in another video. So we tape this down. Oops. Let's try that again. I'm going to tape this down. It seems to not want to cooperate today. And I don't tape it down too tightly, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to lay it down on top of my card. See that that's where I want it. And then I'm going to run another piece of ribbon through there before I actually attach it to my card. So let's do that real quick. Just make a little knot here. And I have to be careful because this ribbon is not double-sided, so what I'm going to have to do is do a lot of twisting and turning to get it the way I want, but that shouldn't be a problem. So that looks about right. And I'll just snip it with my scissors. I'll probably have to snip it some more once I actually attach it to the card. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to line it up on top of my card. And then I'll tighten it up a little bit. Okay, so now I'm ready to tape it down to the top of my card. And this is when I probably will use my ATG gun. I really love this ATG gun. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's tape that down and get it centered. And it's centered the way I want it. And I'm probably going to tighten my knot up just a little bit more and maybe snip just a little bit on each side so it won't be so long. So there is the front of my card. So now let's work on the inside. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to get my happy birthday to be in the center of my card where that opening is. So what I'm going to use is my Stamp-A-Ma-Jig. So now what I need to do is I'm going to take my plastic that has my stamped image on it, and I'm going to line up where I want my image to go. And I think I want it right there. Yep, that looks really good. And then I'm going to take my Stamp-A-Ma-Jig and butt the edge of the plastic up against the Stamp-A-Ma-Jig and make sure it's still lined up where I want it. And then I'm going to remove the plastic. Then I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to butt it up against the Stamp-A-Ma-Jig, and then I'm going to stamp down and then remove it. And it's exactly where I want it, in the center. So now the last thing I want to do is I've already cut out my butterflies and embossed them, and I took some of the tattered leather glimmer mist and put it on each butterfly. So now I'm going to put these on the card, and I'm going to take one of the butterflies and bend the wings a little bit, and I've already added some tape foam on the back, and I'm going to add it right on the edge of my card at the top. There. I'm going to take the second butterfly, and then I'm just going to attach it to the inside along the edge there. So that's it. That's my birthday card. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Bye.